Hey, what is going on, crypto people? Good morning, good morning. I think this is how this is it generational? No, it's Tuesday. It's Tuesday. Yeah, it's Tuesday. Yes, indeed. Another drive time video. Just wanted to do a quick recap of kind of recent events, recent videos that I've done. I know I did a video, a live stream on the thumbnail, I think was titled My Bullish Case for Bitcoin over XRP and Crypto. You should check that video out on the channel for sure. I really delved deep into some things that I think are pretty important. So I think this is okay. But so I just wanted to expound on that a little bit. Look, we got the market just doing some crazy stuff. For sure, Bitcoin got down as low as $59,000, $59,100. I mean, it got down there pretty low, and I think it's going to get lower than that. I think it's going to get, I think it's going to get lower than that. I had a thing from Fred Krueger, kind of a new BTC, doing the realms, his rounds, sort of a maxi. He's a mathematician, a hugely successful entrepreneur. I think 10 exits, and 4 to 6 of those exits were in the tens of millions, crazy numbers. Anyway, he said something about the Mount Gox, called the Mount Gox math, and it was essentially that it's going to be roughly 6 to 9 billion in value released in Bitcoin, but it's already priced in. It's not going to crash the market like I thought it was, and I'm sure others were saying this as well. But he said it's priced in. Essentially, all his numbers and stuff he was saying, essentially, it's priced in, and he believes these pullbacks are a massive buying opportunity for sure. I just think overall in the digital asset space, one of the things I've been talking about a lot is who are you listening to on YouTube? Like, who are your teachers, and what are they saying? And I got into this because one of the reasons was because of something that I saw on X about a guy saying something about I think his name is Crypto Fans, but he was minting in the F asset system. He was testing, minting, and redeeming the F assets, that Flare Networks has provided in the web, the site that you can go to, and they give you an XRP address, they give you a Flare Networks address, and you can test the minting and redeeming on there. And he was saying he was doing that, and he said he had an interesting statement. He said, now, and the F assets bring you XRP utility, right? He mentioned that the F assets, when it goes live, it's going to be bringing utility. And he said, you need to ask your favorite influencer, are they helping in the testing of this system that will bring more utility to XRP? And I just thought that was a really, really great question, because you got some YouTubers who are saying they're utility maxis, and we got this system that's coming that's going to bring utility for XRP. And are you helping testing it, or is your favorite influencer that you're listening to, are they help testing it? I haven't heard it. I have not heard it at all. You guys know on our channel, we show you that we're doing it. We show you how to do it, how to test it. Because I think, it's time to put you, and by the way, these are all test tokens. So there is no money involved in this. I just want you to think about that for a second. There is no money involved in this testing. It's testing. You're helping test what I believe to be a groundbreaking layer 1 Bring utility to the asset that you hold, which has basically no utility right now. Are you participating in that? And are the people that you're listening to for guidance, are they doing it? I think it's a phenomenal question and something that we have to ask ourselves. Who are we listening to? And I used a few videos. One was from Robert Kiyosaki, who's become like a Bitcoin person, right? Still gold and silver for sure. Serial entrepreneur, hugely successful. Robert Kiyosaki, the author of the Rich Dad Poor Dad book and series, and Cash Flow Quadrant, Who Stole My Money, all these different books, and just a serial entrepreneur. And he was explaining on a video with DJ Vlad interview, and he was explaining that you have to choose your teachers. And he used an example of him being in school as a student, and his Sunday school teacher, I believe it was a Sunday school teacher, asked the question of the three wise men, and asked, why were the three wise men rich? And a young Robert Kiyosaki, he said he was about 8 or 9 years old. He said, she asked, why were they wise? And he said, it's because they are rich. And she was like, what? I said, why were they wise? And he said, yeah, it's because they were rich. And she said, well, why were they rich? And he said, because they had frankincense and gold and myrrh. And she said, because they were rich is not the reason why they were wise. He said, it's not? She said, no, that's not why they were wise. And he said, well, why were they wise? And the teacher said, it's because they always sought the best teacher. They always sought the best teacher. And that's what Robert Kiyosaki was saying. You got to choose the right teachers. And I used the example of, I thought a great analogy was not necessarily someone who came into this space and then they became wealthy because they bought Bitcoin. Because I felt there would be a slight bias to that. Maybe it's true the reason why they became wealthy was because they bought Bitcoin, but isn't there going to be a slight bias to that? Because this is how you established your wealth? Of course. But if you come from outside of crypto, having already established wealth, tell me about you. I want to see your choices then, because you're putting your wealth at risk coming into crypto. You're putting your wealth at risk coming into crypto. So tell me about the asset that you're choosing. Right? Tell me about the asset that you're choosing coming into this space, putting your wealth at risk. Even if the risk is 1%, even 5%, whatever it is, that's what you're doing. So I use and reference people like Raoul Pal and Dan Tapiero, people successful in their spaces. I used Anthony Scaramucci, almost 40 years on Wall Street. Dan Tapiero, nearly 40 years on Wall Street. Huge hedge fund managers, major portfolio managers, 500 million for Scaramucci, and Dan Tapiero, current fund, 1.4 billion. Come into a space and they put their net worth at risk, not just their reputations, but their net worth, right? Their net worth. And I think, what asset are they choosing? Do you understand? What asset are they choosing? And they're choosing Bitcoin. And you got to look at that. Another one is Gary Cardone. I don't know, 10, 12, 15 million net worth, something like that. Coming into the space with a significant amount of wealth And you got to ask yourself, what asset are they choosing? I think that's a great question. I really, really do. I think that's a great question. What asset are they choosing? In any case, and since I found out that it was Bitcoin and Tapiero was Bitcoin and Ethereum, I thought that's an unbiased view of people who have had some success choosing the asset that they're going to choose, right? They're using their net worth to buy this Bitcoin, and they're choosing Bitcoin as that asset. It has to make you think. And I say all the time on our channel, we got to get back to our ethos of the reason why we're getting these alts is so we can get more Bitcoin and leveraging the multiples that you get from the altcoin season to get more Bitcoin. Because this is that thing of I'm stacking my pennies next to their dollars. Whose dollars? Whose dollars? Those people that have established wealth already and come into this space, and they chose Bitcoin as the quote unquote the asset. And I think you gotta say to yourself why that is. Like why that is. I think you gotta ask yourself that. Anyway, getting back to the old days of 2016, 17, for us in the Crypto Caesars home is leveraging the assets, the altcoins, to get more Bitcoin. That's kind of the deal that we're doing. We'll take our 10, 20, 30, 40 X's if we can get one, and then we're going to leverage that, if we get a bull run. But we're going to add a DCA strategy to it as well. We started doing this about 3 months ago. It hasn't even been very long, but DCAing into Bitcoin, and we're pretty much set in our position sizes on the alts. Adding a DCA strategy that no matter what, we're gonna get Bitcoin, on a monthly basis, just like Robert Kiyosaki. Robert Kiyosaki says he made a major purchase, and then ever since then, he just gets Bitcoin every single month. Who are your teachers? Who are your teachers? I think that's something that we got to pay a little bit more attention to. Who are your teachers? What does that look like? All right, fam. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you guys. I'm going to get back home and so that I can get to the gym, but I wanted to come out here and do a little bit of a drive time video. I love this particular spot right here. Air conditioning is great. The heat doesn't kill my phone, so this thing doesn't start slipping off of here. Yeah, let me know in the comments. What do you think about that? What do you think about the idea of who are your teachers? What do you think about, do you think it's fair to say that if people come into this space without wealth and they build their wealth in Bitcoin, don't you think they're going to be a little biased? But if you got people who have built their wealth outside of Bitcoin, prior to Bitcoin, outside of digital assets, and then they come into this space recognizing that a new financial system is being built, and they're choosing Bitcoin as the asset that they're going to put their net worth at risk. What do you think about that? I think it's a better assessment of the asset. That's what I think. Let me know in the comments, what do you think? What do you think about the likes of Robert Kiyosaki, Gary Cardone, Raoul Pal, Dan Tapiero, choosing Bitcoin and Ethereum? First of all, coming to this space, putting their net worth at risk. Think about that. They could stay out of the space if they wanted to. What is it that they're seeing that made them come into the space? And why did they choose Bitcoin as an asset? Right? Obviously, it's less risk. But they came into the space, they chose it. And if we're going to put our pennies next to their dollars, I just think, and for me in the Crypto Caesars home, I need to have a strategy where I can put money into Bitcoin and leverage the altcoins to get more Bitcoin. And that's what we're going to do. And it's a simple strategy. It's not a big deal. When and if we get a bull run, when we do get it, it's going to be a 65 to 90% exit of those altcoins, because we know we're going to go 3.5 year bear. So, exit into stables for sure to keep whatever we made. And then, you know, when Bitcoin does a 70 to 75% retrace, it'd be a great opportunity to get more Bitcoin. But along that way, waiting for Bitcoin to do its retrace, months are going to pass. And so DCAing, regardless, is an added strategy. Robert Kiyosaki is buying Bitcoin today. He bought Bitcoin at 65,000. He bought it at 64,000. He bought it at 63,000. I don't know. Do you think he's a smart guy financially? Is a question we all have to ask ourselves. So there it is, fam. Appreciate each and every one of you. This wraps up our XRP Ripple daily. This wraps up our XRP Ripple drive time news. XRP Ripple daily drive time news in about 0 to 10 minutes. I hope that it has been of value to you. If it has, do me a favor and hit that like button. And if you've been hanging out watching the crypto season, you have enjoyed those hangouts, and you happen to be in that 45 or so % of people that are watching and listening and haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing to the channel. And don't forget to ring that notification bell, baby, so that you know whenever we go live or whenever we upload a video. I'm going to end this one like I do all my videos and remind you guys of this. Old money doesn't want you to win. But that's okay, though, because you and I, we're already winning. And I would ask you to consider this, perhaps ponder the idea or notion of living your life permissionless. I'll talk to you guys soon. See ya. Bye.